Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Isn't it annoying when I bring you back? I get you there, and then we could stay there for an hour or two, and then I bring you back after 5 minutes. But I hope that you use these sessions on the Sunday mornings to just give you a taste of what it feels like to get into that meditative state, and that you practice it throughout the week. As you get into the truths of the universe, everything has such an amazing perspective, doesn't it? It's so much simpler. Life is so much more complicated. We make it that way than what it really needs to be. My apologies that we did not tape Jason playing the piano, because that's a new original piece that he is writing, that he so generously shared with us this morning, and it has not yet been copyrighted, so he didn't want it floating out there on the YouTube. So as you go into our website and look at the Sunday service for today, you will not see the YouTube videotape, but after it's copyrighted, we'll have you come back.
Yes.
That was a beautiful piece, by the way. Thank you.
Thank you. It's amazing. It's actually about 3 days old, that specific one.
You just wrote that 3 days ago?
Yeah, it's still forming, but I wanted to share it anyway.
Thank you. For those of you that don't know Jason Day and I, we go back several years. He came here from South Africa when he was a young man during high school, and right as soon as he graduated, he was doing composing, and he's actually composed your first original piece at 15 years old.
Yeah, it was around.
Yeah. And he was the teacher for our 4 kids' piano, and we were his first students that he took on. So we go back.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike Mozart, you were keen to having students too.
I guess so. There it is.
Our guest speaker today is Tora. Tora and I share a background that we're both accountants, so we have, as we worked here over the last year or two, we sometimes have to catch each other getting caught up in the finite details of life and remember to come up for air and get in the spirit. But Tora's going to be talking to us today about mantras, meditation, mudras, and chants. Mantras, as Tora said, are not affirmations. Affirmations are great, but they are not the same as a mantra. A mantra is a very spiritual thing that has been blessed with decades and decades, thousands of years of prayer, and she'll get into more detail with that. I'd like to share with you today, we have a very special guest for me personally here. And back over here, this is Elisa. She's wearing the dark sweater, and her fiance, Adele. Elisa is, when I say my oldest friend, I'm not saying she's old, but we are both old. Elisa and I have been friends since we were 10 years old. She is my oldest and dearest friend, and she's visiting here from the Laguna Beach of the North, Santa Cruz. She's down here for a friend who's visiting, so please make her welcome. Elisa and I have spent a lifetime together and have been there for each other. Oh, in some of our biggest troubles, so thank you for being here. I guess we're going to cut this part out of the video.
You are human.
Oh, I know. Still do that. 37 toxins get released when you cry, so let them flow.
I could keep talking if you want to keep talking. After all the hard times we've had.
No. But I hope each and every one of you has the kind of friend, aside from you being your own best friend, which is of course the best one, where you take care of yourself, where you nurture yourself, where you honor the things that put you in alignment, where you take care of your body and your soul and your emotions. I hope you are kind to yourself. I hope that you speak well and that you only say the nicest things and the most encouraging things to yourself, because I think as a habit we are usually the one who speaks worse to ourselves than anybody else. You wouldn't let anybody speak as badly to you as you do yourself. If you don't have the ability to do that, I hope you have a best friend who can remind you to do that when you stop. I hope you have somebody in your life, a friend, a parent, a child, a dear friend who will remind you to encourage yourself and be kind to yourself if you yourself forget. That's what best friends are for, so thank you. So, there I go again. I'm going to turn the mic over to you so that you can start talking to us while I recover.
That'll be great. Good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to be here and to share this with you. I've been working with mudras and mantras and chanting, mudras and mantras since 2000, 2001. And I've been working with chants a lot longer than that, since I was very small. One of the ways that I learned to pray, not that I learned to pray, that I felt the most comfortable praying was going outside, walking, and singing. And that's what a chant is. A chant is a prayer. And most times we tend to sing them. And I guess we'll start with chants. This wasn't where I was going to start with, but that's where we're starting. What is a chant? Wonderful book by Robert Gass, and I don't know if you might have heard of him. He, On the Wings of Song, his group. Amazing, amazing choral group. And he's written this book called Chanting. And from there he has a definition of what is a chant. And it's from the Latin word cantare, meaning to sing. Chant can be beautiful melodies that send the heart soaring, as we hear in some of the recent recordings of Celtic chanting. Much chant is rhythmic, from the pounding heartbeat of Native American drums, to the polyrhythmic chants of West Africa, to the incredibly complex patterns of the Balinese Monkey chant. On the other extreme, chants may consist of a long sustained note with no rhythm at all, like what we just heard during the meditation with the chanting of Om. And chant can be defined as the worship and celebration of the sacred through melodically simple vocalization. Chant is singing our prayers. Chant is vocal meditation. Chant is the breath made audible in tone. Chant is discovering spirit in sound. So when we chant, if we do it with that sense of reverence and sacredness, even something simple as the chant of row, row, row your boat actually can be a prayer. So if you think about row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, what is that stream?
Stream of life.
It's the stream of life. We don't realize that some of these chants that we've come down and we now just think that they're
Nursery rhymes.
nursery rhymes are actually prayers. Because if you think about row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily, life is but a dream. And our life can be that simple. It can be that easy. If you listen to Abraham Hicks, she's always talking about going into the stream, into the flow, and not rowing, trying to go backwards. Not trying to go against the stream.
Well, that's true. It is down. It's just downstream, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Going it easy.
Yes. And think about when you were children and you were chanting and singing, row, row, row your boat. How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel? Didn't it uplift you? Wasn't it fun? Especially when it started going into a round and you had a lot of people chanting it. That's what prayer should do for us, is uplift us and bring us into that place where we forget that we're having this human experience, but that we're spiritually divine beings. So often we get into that type of prayer that is, help me, help me. And I've been there, done that this week even. But we need to remember there's also that prayer of